Hello and welcome to Acoustic Review. My name is Ben Morgan Brown and today I'm looking at a Newlands model from O'Gorman Guitars. O'Gorman Guitars are based in Cornwall and are the brainchild of Brendan O'Gorman, who builds each guitar himself using mostly hand tools. After training as a fine furniture maker, Brendan started building guitars about 5 years ago and now builds between 10 and 12 guitars a year, all of which are custom instruments starting at £3,500 and advancing depending upon specs. The Newlands model is his take on the classic Dreadnought, and this particular Newlands features a solid Swiss moon spruce top with Credicam ebony back and sides and a Florentine cutaway. The Wenge neck is topped with an ebony fingerboard with a 24.9-inch scale length and a 44mm nut and is joined at the 13th fret. The guitar also features Goto 510 tuners, Evo Gold hemispherical frets and Graphtec tusk nut, saddle and bridge pins, and it comes with a Hiscox Pro 2 hardcase. Let's have another listen to the Newlands now and then please join me afterwards for my thoughts. The Newlands has a really striking look, very sleek, very modern, with stunning woods used throughout. It instantly feels like a quality instrument. The woodwork and overall build quality is fantastic. It's obvious that a lot of care and pride has gone into the build. Details such as the contouring on the bridge and the volute are executed with grace and finesse, and the fretwork is superb. Going over the guitar, there's lots of small details that all add up to the general classy feeling. The perfectly installed nut, the intonated saddle, binding and purflings that meet with absolute precision. It's obvious that Brendan's woodworking skills are very, very fine. But do these details translate into tone? Well, the short answer is yes. The Newlands has an immediate presence and clarity in the mid-range that is bold without being strident, rich, balanced and piano-like low ends with heaps of sustain, and fat, clean trebles that sing with overtones. It takes altered tunings like an absolute champ and handles everything from delicate fingerstyle to heavy strumming without skipping a beat. It's up there with the most versatile guitars I've ever played. Admittedly, it is a modern voiced instrument, and perhaps those looking for a more muted vintage tone might find it a bit shiny, but that aside, it's hard to fault the tone of this guitar. Playability is also fantastic, helped in part by the slightly tighter than usual waist and the 13th fret neck joint, which makes the guitar feel that tiny bit more intimate and comfortable than a standard dreadnought. The only criticism I have is that I found the 44mm nut to be a little narrow, but that's down to personal choice. Everything else, including the neck profile, action and intonation, felt spot on. Hand-built guitars can run into astronomical figures, and therefore I think O'Gorman's base price of £3,500 seems very reasonable. Of course, custom options can push the price up, but as a starting point, it places O'Gorman guitars in a similar price bracket as many factory-produced brands. The acoustic guitar market is dominated by a few well-known makers, and for good reasons. Their designs seem to fit what most players want from an instrument, and they are mostly able to offer it at an acceptable price. What they can't offer you though is the level of quality and personal investment that a hand-built guitar can give you. Working with a luthier such as Brendan O'Gorman, you can spec the nut width, the scale length, the fret size, the wood choices and more in order to build an instrument that combines your needs and their expertise. And despite being relatively early in his career, it's obvious from this guitar that Brendan O'Gorman has the expertise to build a stunning instrument. My advice would be to get an order in soon before his waiting list grows, as based on this guitar, it's obvious that his guitars will be in very high demand. I hope you've enjoyed this video from Acoustic Review. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon to be kept up to date when we post new videos, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.